The Go Radio Business Show with Trywire.com.
Tom,
Willie,
another week.
Colin,
And plenty to talk about this week as well. But I thought we'd start with, I thought that was great to read this week about the deal that the Hunter Foundation and the West Coast Capital, actually, I think, have invested at the Port Edgar in South Queensferry.
Yeah,
No, you know, let me go to a good bit. And it's the boy that's doing all the work.
So
young Jamie stepped up to the plate and it's brilliant.
I'm very pleased. Normally we don't talk about what we're doing, Willie, but this one I did want to talk about because it is Jamie. Jamie has looked at the deal, worked with the people who were selling it over at Port Edgar and Russell and Cara. And he concluded the deal, and it's great, Willie. I had very, very little to do with it, so it's really nice. And Port Edgar, as you know, stunning, world-class venue overlooking the Southferry crossing and the rail bridge and the road bridge. So, I mean, you could sit there and think you were in San Francisco or whatever. And it's also hosts Scots, which is one of the best performing units for Buzzworks, which we're also invested in. So yeah, we think there's something to be done there, but it's all down to Jamie. No help for his feather.
Brilliant. Well, we wish him all the best in his first big venture. But the thing that always intrigued me about South Queensferry was that I remember when a lot of the football players were playing up in Dundee, right? And they wanted to live in South Queensferry.
Oh, really?
So I don't know where the good bits are in Dundee. I don't know, but it's funny that they wanted to come all the way down to South Queensferry. Right? It's always been a really good commercial hub, great restaurants there. It's a great vista when you're sitting there looking out. You know, I think that, well, we wish him all the very best.
Well, thank you. Right? And good on, Jamie.
Is it Peel Ports next? Is that it? Is that a takeover bid? Don't want no pressure for Jamie, right? You know. No. Other good news as well is see that Glasgow headquartered scale-up Chemify that have secured another 50 million in capital in their Series B fundraise. This is obviously led by Professor Lee Cronin. The business has built a digital system that can design and build chemical molecules on demand, often described as the 3D printers of the chemical world. Fantastic.
So, Willie, did you get your chemistry O-level?
No. No. I'm still waiting to use an isosceles triangle.
I don't think that's chemistry, Willie, but anyway, I might be wrong, but a spin out from Glasgow University, stop telling me jokes, a spin out of Glasgow University, brilliant actually, and Lee Cronin, who you say is the founder, he wants it to revolutionise digitisation and automation of chemical discovery and manufacturing. We maybe need to get him on to say, what does that mean, Lee?
Well, what I think we definitely need to get him on to talk about is, and everybody who's been on the show before and all the listeners and viewers is that their offering was oversubscribed from existing shareholders. So that is faith in an investment.
Really. Because we had a meeting this week with some interested parties, and they were saying, oh, well, there's not funding for businesses and all the rest of it. You know, I have got this bee in my bonnet that there is funding for the right businesses. And they're always, you know, it's tough, of course it is. But here's an example of Glasgow headquartered business raising $50 million. Willie. That's not to be sniffed at. And some big names in there, Insight Partners, EOS, Scottish-based company in there. And therefore, for the right business, there is money out there. So it's about the entrepreneur and the founder getting his business or her business right, and then knowing where the sources of capital are. So the outcome of our meeting this week is Ewan, who runs our foundation, is going to look at the landscape of funding and just make sure that Scotland's on the list for funders who might be in Silicon Valley, who might be in China, but we got to put Scotland on the map. So that's something we're beginning to work on. But good luck to, is it Chemify? Is that how you say it? Chemify. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, I think I did get my chemistry O-level, but that was too long ago.
You must have been copying the guy beside you if you get your right? I got a B in English.
that could get the bloopers show, Willie.
I got a D in PE. So, something else that we've, behind the hilarity,
Yes.
something else much more serious.
Bring us back down to earth, Willie.
No, but and this will do, because we've talked about it now for a number of years. And to be fair, we highlighted it even before the proverbial hit the fan. It's interesting to see that Biffa, they're showing no signs of letting up, and so they shouldn't. Going after the Scottish Government to chase them for the 166 million that they believe that they've lost. But what's interesting is, but now they're actually naming Lorna Slater, co-leader of the Green Party, for promising them that this would happen. So they've lost, nearly 60 million, 50 odd million as an investment, and they believe 110 million in profits that they've made over the next 10 years. But this is another example, another prime example, where the ordinary man and woman who are paying their taxes just hate to see that they believe that the government is wasting their money. Right, and I think, to be fair to everybody, this was more of a Green initiative than it was an SNP. And although they're in a coalition, this was their baby, that circularity, Scotland, all of that. And I think they just disappear into the ether and nobody takes responsibility. 166 million potentially of taxpayers' money.
I think, Willie, if you were to search back in the Glory of Business show archives, you would see that we called this.
For day one.
For day one. And I'm going to start telling it as it is, because Biffa are not really suing the Scottish Government. They're suing the Scottish taxpayer. Okay. The Scottish Government doesn't have any money. They take money from you and me and hard-working people who pay their taxes. Yeah. And then this is about the incompetence of who's running our country. I don't want to... the High Court thing's still going on, but we called it at the time, and let's just call it the way it is. Lorna Slater was incompetent in this. And is she going to pay for this? Is she still going to have a job? And she is costing you, me, and every Scottish taxpayer. There was also the Scottish National Investment Bank, if you remember. They're 9 million down. Oh, where do they get their money? Oh, aye, you, me, and Scottish taxpayers again. Yes. So we need to start holding our public servants to be accountable. So when they say, oh, they're suing the Scottish Government, that sounds as if it's somebody that's not related to the hard-working people paying their taxes. That's the only way they get their money.
This is only a fraction of the damage done by the SNP Green coalition, right? And to be fair, I'm making the point about the Green here, right? Not about the SNP. Is that the influence that they had for a party that get the smallest amount of votes than any party, to have the power that they had, but every single thing, right, that they were involved in, right? The best thing ever that the SNP done was call that coalition to a halt. Right, and
that was the best thing.
Hamza Yusuf it was the best thing he ever done, because instead of doing that path, right, they've been an absolute disaster. Every initiative, everything that they brought to the party was an absolute disaster and cost us fortunes. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out.
Yes.
Let's talk about our friend Rachel from accounts. Right, so big announcement this week.
Getting closer, Willie.
Yeah. She was speaking at an investment conference in Birmingham this week, and she's announced plans to reform some of the corporate reporting rules. So this is all about the tax the rich or the better off or well off, whatever.
Is that what it's about, Willie?
What it is she's going to, it's leaked, it's claimed, and generally these leaks and claims...
There's been a lot of leaks, hasn't there?
Yes, there has, but generally they turn out to be true, right? They may be a wee bit watered down, but it looks like now that a lot of people in the professions, lawyers, accountants, who all had limited liability partnerships now don't need to pay NI, don't need to pay some taxes. So it looks as if that she's coming after them, and it could maybe mean as much as 6 billion a year in income. But that'll be interesting. Wow. But I want to touch on something else that she's done at the party, which I think she should get a lot of credit for.
Okay.
Right. So we've been talking for a long, long time about the housing crisis.
Yes.
And we're saying if you address the housing crisis, you can help with the unemployment crisis, you can help with the cost of living, skill shortage, all of that stuff. And we said last week that they reckon by 2030, there'll be 240,000 tradespeople missing in the trades, in the construction industry, right? So what she has done is, and she should be applauded for this, is she has got all the big pension funds together. She's got everybody together and say she's really trying to kickstart building.
Okay.
Right, which we believe would go to the heart of turning things around. Right?
We believe that?
So, well, 100% I believe that. If they follow through, and it's great to see this week that we see Aviva maybe get involved in a big, Scottish National Investment Bank involved in Glasgow at Cowlairs, 1,500 houses. So this is all good, so everybody that's got pension funds now, freeing up the rules, the regulations to allow them to invest and be a bit more flexible for maybe the returns that they're looking for. She's actually basically asking the pension funds, you need to do your bit to help us here.
Right.
And I think, to be fair, they're stepping up to the plate. So it looks like in the last week or so, there's a lot of talk of billions of pounds now being available to kickstart the housing industry in the UK. So hopefully that comes to fruition. And if it does, well done. Well done, Rachel.
Well, listen, we always in this show, we call it the way it is, I reckon.
Yeah.
And when a politician does something good, like you think Rachel's on this, so well done.
Yeah.
And Lorna Slater's no on it, so come on.
Also as well, on that as well, she mentioned about, a wee bit less reporting for smaller businesses. So the regulation, the red tape, all of that stuff, that she believes that if we do that now with a lighter touch, it can maybe actually end up getting another 6 billion back into the economy, and it helps smaller businesses. She believes there's too much regulation, right, and reporting for small businesses. So if all of these things, it sounds now, we've been asking for a long, long time, we've been having a go at some of the things. If this comes to fruition, all of this that we've heard this week from this investment government could all be good for the country, especially the housing stuff.
And she did get another wee bit of good news, and this is where the arithmetic here, Willie, is quite incredible. So inflation in September stayed steady at 3.8%.
Yeah.
Right? So you might think, so what?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that the people who lend the government money, and we've talked about this, how that's after the NHS, the government spend, the second biggest item is interest to people who lend the government money
on the debt,
which is unbelievable.
Yes.
So because the people who lend that think steady inflation, fair enough, they're quite buoyed by that. So this week, the interest rate, and it's quite simple. Let's not get caught up in jargon here. The people who lend the government money on our behalf, they shaved their interest rate by 0.08 of 1%.
Yeah.
Right? So stick with me. That means a £3 billion a year saving.
Yeah.
So the margins are so fine, but 3 billion that she was going to put out the door to pay these people or these companies or pension funds or whoever they are.
Yeah.
3 billion, because, so that just shows you that if we can get the economy steady, the cost of our debt comes down, and then there's more money to take care of those who can't take care of themselves, because the interest rate is a non-productive investment.
Yeah. I think you've hit it in the head. We'll get many, many commentators on the TV who want to talk about how we can raise more funds, tax the rich, all this, let's go after LLPs, all this kind of stuff, right? Of all the indicators that we should be attacking the most is the deficit.
Yes.
Right. So we can only do that through growth, right? We say it every week. So if we concentrated in addressing the potential 240,000 shortage in the construction industry and started training programs, then there's a really good chance that would make a difference, right? So let's explain that. If 240,000 people at the moment are on benefits and not working, and we've got this shortage, if we got these guys into work through a bit of training, a bit of investment, then probably the upside to that, even in maybe annual salaries of £30,000, their contribution to tax will be small, but it could be as much as £2.5 billion a year.
Wow.
But the real win in that is what we're not giving them in benefits.
Yes.
Right. So this could be worth as much as £10 billion a year.
It's a double whammy.
Right. So by looking at the point that you make, you've just mentioned a figure there, 0.8, right? Imagine we'd done something to bring that deficit down by 1 or 2%.
Yes.
Right? It would take care of the borrowing each year. So we've got to stop borrowing each year. What is it, a 30 billion black hole, a 32 billion black hole? If we get to a situation where we can get that stemmed, get that to zero, start to get to a surplus, then we're talking.
So, you know, people think, oh, what does it mean for my business that, you know, Rachel Reeves and what she's trying to do? But what she's trying to do is simple to articulate, very hard to do.
Yeah.
We have borrowed too much money, and
Yeah.
I say it every week, actually. We forget that the two big things were COVID and Brexit.
Yes.
We forget COVID cost us 65 billion, perhaps. I don't know what Brexit has cost us, but people will say 4% of GDP or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, Willie, but it's a big number.
I think COVID probably cost us in real terms about 200 billion
Do you?
or more more. And I think as
Brexit?
well, what you see that Andrew Bailey this week for the first time has declared
Yeah.
that Brexit has had a huge
Huge.
impact on the economy. So again, that's something that we need to look at.
So as a country, we have borrowed too much money. And this is something that Nigel Farage, when he's trying to climb the polls, you know, he's responsible in a big way for us going to Brexit. Let's call it the way it is.
Yes.
And he's not taking any responsibility for
Yes.
it. Anyway, we'll maybe come to that another day, because there is a Go Radio politics show, and this isn't it. I know you'll tell me that. I know you'll tell me.
Yeah.
But if we could, we've borrowed too much money, and the interest rate, it's like any business or any household, we're paying too much money going out. And then we have got an economy which is paying out billions and billions of pounds in benefits. Now, I am not one for saying I want to take care of people who can't take care of themselves, but I think maybe the pendulum swung too far. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, what we've been getting the credit for over the last few weeks is making things a bit simpler for people to understand. And I think for the listeners and viewers this week is the big indicators for the normal man in the street to look at is the inflation number, the unemployment number, which is really, really important,
Huge.
And that deficit.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that making that a bit easier for people to understand and looking at these numbers and focusing on these numbers, and then us pushing the government to act on these. And I think, to be fair, a lot of the stuff this week that the Chancellor has put forward do make a big difference if they come to fruition. So hopefully after the conference this week that we'll start to see green shoots in the next few months.
And the last bit of that is, so what can Rachel do? She can grow the economy. Well, she can't do that, but she can get the environment in which people want to do that. And what she needs to absolutely watch out for is if he just keeps going to the same well to tax people, people leave. I was at a dinner this week again. Two of my pals are leaving. And I had such an argument with them. Say, come on, stay and make it. Fed up, gone.
Is that me? Am I the only pal you've got left?
Well, you're my only pal, Willie.
Well, I've got news for you, right? Right.
So, can we just talk about, for a wee second, Prestwick Airport?
Yes.
Because I have been very critical about the Scottish Government shouldn't operate businesses.
Yeah.
Prestwick Airport is the exception
Yeah.
to my rule,
Yeah.
because good things are happening there. I live down by Prestwick Airport, and it's close to my heart.
Yeah.
But they have created 150 new jobs in the past year, and it's now one of the UK's leading cargo hubs.
Yeah.
We now have 3 Chinese airlines coming every week with cargo, bringing e-commerce for people like Temu and Shein. They're all coming into Prestwick and then distributed throughout the UK. And then they're going back with Scottish salmon, Scottish whisky, Scottish goods over to the Far East. So brilliant. And the latest figures, which are a wee bit out of date, but to March 24, it made a profit of 3.2 million. It's also a military hub.
Yeah.
And I've got no problem with it being a military hub. The only problem I've got is the Scottish government is, on the one hand, they don't want to invest in a welding skills unit on the Clyde because they might work on defence, but they're willing to own Prestwick Airport, which is a forward operating base for the Canadian Air Force.
Yeah.
So that's not quite right. I'm happy with both.
Yeah.
I'm happy with both, Willie. So good on the Scottish government sticking with Prestwick Airport, call it the way it is. But the other thing, which friend of the show, Davy Bullet, as I call him,
David McCutcheon,
was texting us about 300 welders having to be brought from the Philippines into Babcock.
Yeah.
Now, come on, Willie, the skill shortages. Now, this is a political football, and I don't want to get into the politics, but Babcock are bringing 300 welders from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Why are they not Scottish welders?
Well, the problem with that is, and you're absolutely right to highlight it, is that when we make government announcements about this is fantastic and it safeguards and will increase the jobs at Govan and Rosyth with the orders that we're going to get, well, it makes a mockery of it if we have to import 300 people. What we should be talking about here is, where is the training academies, right, for welders? That's just part of that 240,000 that we're missing.
Yes.
So there is jobs in Scotland, there is skill jobs. By the way, and these would be well-paid jobs.
That'd be well-paid,
right? I'm sure that Babcocks are not bringing these people in for cheap labour. They're bringing them in because they can't get anybody else to do it, and they'll be paying them well.
Yeah.
Right, so they'll probably be the best paid Filipino welders in the world.
Yep.
Right, certainly more than they're getting in the Middle East. So I think that this is something that's got to be looked at.
What's the answer, Willie?
The answer is quite simple. Understanding that. So for me, when our friend Jim McDonald comes in at Scottish Enterprise, he should be picking up on something like that straight away and going, right, okay, where's the training course for welders?
Yeah.
Right, where's the training course for brickies? Where's the training, this is something. Exactly. So I think, that skill development in Scotland, I think, to be fair, get a lot dropped in their lap when we got, the Career Scotland put in, and it's kind of, I think it distracted them a wee bit. I think if we're going to have a skills development in Scotland agency, it should be that if I've got that gap, I'm saying to him, what have you been doing? Or what have you not been doing? Right? So for me, when Jim gets in, looking at SDS and seeing what we can do, we should not be having to bring 300 welders for the Philippines.
So, Scottish Government, sort it out. 300 jobs, Scottish jobs. Let's make Scotland great again.
Let's finish on that political note. Tom, brilliant guest this week in the show. Says he listens every week. Nishant Sharma, or to be known as Nish to us, who's the founder and CEO of Rutland Square Spirits. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, both of you. By the way, I would like to say I'm a big fan of both of you.
Wow.
And
who do you like the best?
The one who rejected me first. I haven't been rejected by Willie just now, but
let's go into that. Let's go into that in a bit more detail. Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. So you're going to be sorry you asked that question.
So Nish, I love that you've come on the show today.
Thank you.
Because your story epitomizes the entrepreneur's journey.
Thank you.
So, where did it all start for you, and what was it in your upbringing that made you an entrepreneur? These are the stories that I love.
Right. First of all, thank you, both of you and your entire team, for giving me the opportunity to sit next to you. It has been my dream. You guys are the pillars of Scottish economy.
Well, I'd stop blushing.
So my story starts in India. I was born and bred in a small city called Dibrugarh in Assam. The region of Assam is very popular for the tea. It's the tea capital of India.
Tea, yeah.
Right.
So if you are in Asda's, Tesco's, picking up a box of tea, and if it says Assam tea, it's the region where I come from.
That's where you're from.
Yes. My family originates from Punjab. We are Punjabis. The the most of Glasgow, the pillar restaurants are owned by Punjabis.
Are they?
Some from Pakistan, some from India, but these are the people from the northwest.
Yeah.
So as I was telling, my great grandfather had a little itchy foot. He could speak English, he could translate, so he wanted more from his life. He didn't want it to be a farmer.
So how did he learn English in this?
He studied, he educated.
Right,
He really wanted to get to school instead of wasting time, what people were doing back then. This is pre-independence.
Pre-independence, yeah.
Yes, so this is how I like to put it, as when India and UK were in a marriage together. And
Not an equal marriage. So.
Well, you know
Apologies for that.
Not at all, not at all. You know what? Every marriage has its ups and downs. Sometimes back in the day, I see this as they didn't know any better. So they did what they could to the best of their knowledge. But we are now living in a more informed world, and we all have opportunities. And this is what has brought me here. So he traveled across to Assam. He started working for an English lord on a tea estate. He meets a Scottish officer there. They both come together for the love of making moonshine.
Moonshine?
Yes. Punjabis have this itch of moonshining, illegal moonshining at home using pressure cookers. And that's what brought a Scotsman and an Indian man together. And they started blending whiskies together.
Wow.
Because there was a gap in the market. Single malt whiskey wasn't allowed to be sold to the common man. So they saw a gap. So the Scotsman will sneak the single malt whiskey.
What kind of timeline is this?
This is 1930s, late 30s, 40s.
Wow.
They did that. They started filling a gap, made some revenue for themselves. And then when India and UK had their divorce, my great-grandfather ended up buying the tea estate he was employed on. And he ventured into tea, transportation, logistics, properties. And he was a very successful and a serial entrepreneur.
Right.
My grandfather and my father are lovely and inspirational people, but they were a product of a rich father. Yes. So they were not ambitious. So till date, my father, love him to bits, but he has been looked after by the estate left by my great-grandfather.
Right. Interesting.
But they say wealth has its way, and it only goes down to certain generation. Yeah. So comes to my time, there's no money in the pot. Yeah. And I had to make...
So spent.
I know. I'm the unlucky one. So I had to pick up the shovel again and dig.
But you're still in India at this point?
This is, yes.
Right.
I'm a young guy, 14, 15, struggling through my university. I had ADHD. I still have ADHD, but there was no diagnosis at that time. I have never been too keen on education, staying put in my class. But arts, drama, and anything cultural, anything creative would really interest me, which I would excel in. And English as a language was something I really excelled. I found it very creative in terms of communication. And then came an opportunity in my life. I had to either go down the route of joining the family business or do something of my own. I was given 9 months to prove myself. I was shipped to the capital city to show I have the capacity to survive by myself, paying rent, lodging, fooding, everything. And my uncle lived in Glasgow since the 1990s.
Right.
So I had a little safety net. So my
did you know anything about Scotland?
We've heard the stories. Stories of Scotland. He would bring us Rangers t-shirts, and we thought it was a
dear Willie.
I don't like them.
Well, we had Celtic ones as well.
That's okay.
Right?
There you go.
So, but I never knew what Celtic and Rangers were.
No, you wouldn't.
Back in India, he was bringing me t-shirts with Celtics and Rangers, and I was like, wow, this is a brilliant brand. The materials are great, until I was exposed.
You can tell the difference when he sold the one that said champions on it. Sorry.
We're not going to go in football here. But yeah, fast forward to 2007, I migrate to Scotland with £500 in my pocket. My dad said...
£500?
That's my father said that's all he can give me.
So can I ask you, why? Why did you choose Scotland?
Because my uncle was here. Yeah, I had no other place to go.
And you thought Scotland would be better for you than India?
Well, he had really sold Scotland to us growing up.
What was he doing?
He had a business. He's been in business from day one.
Right.
He doesn't come from an entrepreneur background. His father was a superintendent of police in India. He was a guy with a lot of resource but no money. Yeah. So he always had this attraction that I would never go down the route of my father, because there's no money behind the job he did. Yeah. And he was an honest man, so he never took any bribes.
So what is his business?
So Lighting Warehouse and Electrical Limited, he's just based around the corner from here. He has now 4 warehouses. He's successful.
What's it called?
It's called the Lighting Warehouse and Electrical Limited.
I've bought many things off him
Have
over
you?
the years.
Ricky,
Yes, yeah.
you might know Ricky.
Yeah,
He's my
yeah,
uncle. Yes,
yeah,
he's my first angel
yeah.
investor in my business as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, charity
He's not
begins
the
at home.
gentleman who bought the house off of Mr. Mortimer in Bovril, is he?
I
The other
don't know
lighting
that.
guy. There's two
Is there
lighting
two?
guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I know the place. I've bought many lights
So
there.
he's got, yeah, and
Right,
the
okay.
arches.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
So you arrive in Glasgow with £500 in your
Yes.
pocket.
And this is the time my uncle was struggling. He was going through bankruptcy. Yeah, it was
okay.
extreme time for us. And I land in this boy from India. The family doesn't know much about. They have seen us on holiday, and now he comes to stay with us without prior notice, and it doesn't come with any money. Very difficult situation, but my family welcomed me with open arms.
So it's all about family.
Correct.
Right.
It's always about family.
Yeah.
So they brought me in, they fed me, they gave me roof over my head. So I had a safety net because I was lucky in that sense. But monetarily, I was hurt because my father only gave me £500. He could have given me more, but he said, "This is all I can give you, and you're off your own."
Wow.
Sometimes something drives you, and I think he did the right thing that drove me so much that day one when I landed, I started deloading containers for my uncle that would come from China.
Right.
I'll do that from 7 a.m. till 12. Then from 12 till 4, I will work in his shop in Forge Markets. And then from 6 till 12, I'll work in Ashoka restaurants, Darnley. Ashoka,
What
yeah,
age were you
Ashoka at the
then?
mill.
Nish, what age were you then?
I was 17.
Right. Okay.
And I did my 18th birthday here, and then I never stopped.
Yeah.
So hard work.
It was graft, proper graft. I still do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other way in life.
So you're working 14, 15 hours a day. You're saving
More
up.
than that sometimes.
Right. So you're saving up.
7 days I send my dad £1,000.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
Wow.
7 days.
Yeah.
500. Uncle helped me £200, just a bonus, just so
Yeah.
I can make that 1,000 figure. I send his money back, and I'm free of all ties.
Fantastic.
Right. Okay.
So now I am 100% self-funded individual.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
what's next in the niche story?
So this happens for 4 years,
Yeah.
and started my journey as a dishwasher, toilet cleaner, waiter. Did a lot. One thing was popping out in my life was I was a people's person.
Yeah.
I would rack up the most tips.
I could imagine you getting good tips. in
I
the
was getting great tips.
I think I
was
think we see that.
meeting amazing people in the restaurants, Sir McAlpine and some of the really big names, and they would say, "Keep doing, always focus," and those things stayed with me. And then I met my now wife, then partner, and I would ask her a question. She's a law graduate, BVC graduate. She's a smart one in the family. And I said, "What is that I need to do a job from 9 to 5 behind a seat wearing a suit?" So she got me a job into Sheila's Wheels.
Right.
And where?
Sheila's Wheels
Yes.
insurance company.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't think you were going to say that.
No, she did. Literally selling insurance. But long story short, did that for 4 years. Scaled myself to banking. Worked with banks like BlackRock, Lloyds, SWIP, all of them. Created the Emirates Fund with the New York office. Entrepreneur. I was making good money. I was thriving. But something was missing in my life. And this is when my grandmother passed away. I went to India, saw funeral. I've never practiced my culture or my religion, but this was the first time I was exposed to the cremation process. And I felt life is going to come to an end, and we are going to leave everything that we are accumulating behind. I better do something that has purpose.
Wow.
And in that journey, I learned about the alcohol business in my family, that what made my great grandfather was spirits.
Right.
And I had a light bulb moment that I live in Mecca of Spirits, Scotland, the purest water, the water of life, and they make great whiskey. Why don't I come back and make whiskey? I thought I was a rich man. I just came out of banking and soon humbled by life that whiskey needs millions of pounds.
Yes.
I thought 50K in my bank was too much money, which I couldn't finish. And then I started my journey with the gin, one SKU.
So right. Let me just take you. So this step. So you've understood purpose.
Yes.
You've come back to Scotland and said, banking's not my purpose.
Yes.
Purpose is to be my own man. Did you see yourself as an entrepreneur then?
No.
No. Right.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes. I think I was ignorant and I thought I could do this if somebody else can do it. I always had this notion, if the guy above me can do it, he eats, sleeps, repeats, I do the same. There isn't a superpower he has that I cannot possess. I should be able to do it. So I would always find a way to learn to do things, and that education would give me a way in.
Yeah. And it was just the heritage of your grandfather that
Yes.
led you towards
Yes.
gin and
Yes.
whiskey. Yeah.
Wow.
I think life has its way. It shows all of us a way.
Yeah.
And I was shown the path through my grandmother's funeral, and through the fire, the light of her being cremated. I thought one day they're gonna cremate me.
So I'm really interested about. So you made a decision. Tell us about the start when you
So I
started.
come back
Yes.
home and I handed my notice, and my wife and one.
So you went from £500 arriving Glasgow. You've now come back with £50,000 in your
I
bank
was on
account.
100K plus
Were you?
annual salary.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was,
Right,
I
okay.
was, I was
Yeah.
making good money in
Yeah.
banking, and the
But-
bonus structure was
But you
great.
gave it up.
I came in and gave it my handed my notice, and my wife thought I've gone bonkers. I have done some substance that I shouldn't have done. That I've
We won't talk
driven me- good substance. I haven't done anything. She thought that
You
something
didn't
is
say,
driving
I'm
me.
taking to the drink. Is that
Oh.
what you said?
Yes, few drinks, a few glasses of whiskeys, and then I thought, you know what, it has to be now or never. And this is pre-COVID. I started thinking about, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this properly. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. Gin is a very crowded market. There are thousands of gin. Why am I even doing it? So I had to find that whole thing. Why am I doing it? I went from why, what, who, where, and how. These were the questions I always ask myself before doing anything, and I'll find solutions around it. And with one SKU, we scaled in 3 years. We failed first, brutally. I started selling a bottle at a time to every single shop
Wow.
in every single outlet in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Doing markets, had a heart attack doing
Yeah.
this because I was pushing myself so hard.
A literal heart attack.
A literal heart attack. I almost died.
Oh my God.
I came out of hospital and I said, life's given me another chance. I'm going to push harder. I do not recommend this to
No,
people
no,
listening.
that isn't advice for the Go
Yes.
Real Business Show, by the way.
Yes. But I had no other options.
Yeah.
I have put all my chips in. I
Right.
have maxed out every single credit card I ever had. I maxed out every single overdraft I ever had. I maxed out my wife's credit cards. And then she had to take the house away from my name, though, because I would have ended up selling that too.
Yeah.
She said, no, we need to retain the house. And somehow
Wow.
found a way in.
Right.
As I said, rejected by age 8 times.
Yeah.
I
Right,
wear
so-
the badge proudly.
So you applied for Scottish Edge.
Yes.
And we turned you down.
It wasn't you turning it down.
It definitely wasn't me,
think-
'cause
I
I'm-
think- yes,
I'm never a
yes.
judge.
No. So I think the reason was fair.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't invest in a business that's in a space which was so crowded. So as
Right.
investors couldn't see a return on their investment.
I see.
And then that taught me a lot of things. That taught me that what is that we can make ourselves an investable business. So we
Right.
started working towards building something that's investable for people.
Yeah.
Because we are selling an idea to people.
Mhm.
You numbers and spreadsheets, they are all great. They give you a baseline. It's the people you invest in.
So Nick, I have this thing with the team that run Edge, Evelyn McDonald,
Yes, great
Won-
people. Love them.
wonderful. And I say to her every time I see her, you are not allowed to say no.
Yes.
You have to say not yet.
This is exactly what I mean. 8 times
and
and I'm
you're-
not stopping.
And you're 8 times.
Yes.
I think we need to get together with Evelyn.
This is not a complaint.
We have got our big awards ceremony
Yes.
at the end of November. You should come and speak at it.
You know what? I'm actually waiting for the day I can sit on the judges panel.
Yeah.
That's my aspiration.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, you're on.
Not
Not that I'm the boss.
Well, I need to tell you, they only ever asked, I don't know what I've done, but they only ever asked me once to come to the judging panel. I've never asked me back again, so I'm
We'll go
delighted.
together.
So let me ask you, the name.
Rutland Square is an area in Edinburgh where the Indian embassy sits. This product is a testament of people like myself who have left their country, made Scotland home. This is where we want to, live our journey.
Wow.
But something that connects us back home, and the only route to India is through Rutland Square. You need to get your visa from Rutland Square.
Yeah.
That's your
right.
first step into before you board your plane.
Yeah.
So Rutland Square became the name. It pays homage to India, and it also pays homage to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So the pattern on the bottle, it represents the tartan of Scotland.
Have we got a bottle
Yes,
there?
here it's on the screen.
Oh, it's on the
It's
screen.
yes,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So that represents the woven culture of India, the tartan patterns in India of Scotland, and we brought them together. The lion represents the lion rampant of Scotland. It sits on the Ashoka Chakra of India, and I am a Leo.
Yeah.
Chai Spice, because it's the world's first and only gin led by oolong white tea. It's one of the most expensive teas money can buy. So we started growing our own tea on a small piece of land, and we only use 18 indigenous women to pluck our tea because we give them equal wage to men. So every single bottle we sell, it has purpose, because
Wow.
my
Yeah.
grandmother was a huge philanthropist,
Yeah.
and we will always have purpose behind whatever we do. So there's
Fantastic.
sex disparity and wage disparity in that part of the world that we want to end. So now the women do 7-8 hour shift, and they give more money than men would do in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in the couple of minutes
Wow.
we've got left, tell us where you are today and where you're trying to get to.
So 3 years into business, today we sit at a valuation of 30 million. We have onboarded a billionaire Bollywood A-listed actor, a serial entrepreneur. He has 300 investments, 22 IPOs. He's now leading us into the
So
big
what's his name?
Vivek Oberoi. Yeah, he's a big name. He's got 10 million followers across all platforms. He's a really influential guy. He
Olivia.
wants us. He wants us to go big. So we are now in the process of setting up a 150 million pound fund to protect Scottish distilleries which are in distress. Our goal is to retain Scottish heritage, and India and UK have done a huge FTA. The demand for Scotch has tenfolded in India
Yeah.
because we have investors and distributor partners. We are doing great in India. We're almost selling out every 3 months in India. So now we want to secure these distressed assets, turn them around, create liquidity, and grow as into the biggest consuming whiskey market in the world.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm very fortunate. I have Sunil Mattel as a friend. So obviously
Amazing.
back to Airtel, and these. I know talking to Sunil in the past about how alcohol important. You know,
Yes.
but I remember back in the day having a huge conversation with him about all the famous Scottish brands and about Guinness.
Yes.
And it's interesting that obviously quite that people from India, especially from India, really appreciate the world brand, the iconic brands that Scotch and gin has.
They admire
Yeah,
Scotch. They
yeah.
even call local whiskey Scotch. Let's have. So how they put it is, if you're having a party tonight and they want to drink a good whiskey and say, let's get a Scotch.
Yeah.
Even if they're picking up a bottle of Jack Daniels,
Yeah.
they refer it to Scotch.
Yeah.
This is how much impact
Yeah.
Scotland and products from Scotland
Yeah.
have in India. It's a brand.
Well, I'll tell you a great story about that. So when
Willie's always got a story.
when John Watterson, God rest him, was the president of the licensed trade in Scotland, the first 10 years of my business was all in the licensed trade.
Yes.
And when he remembered telling me a story about Smirnoff,
Yes.
right, when it first came out. So it had been the first vodka to come to Scotland, right? And he says, I remember arguing with him, no, just call it vodka,
Yeah.
right? Don't call it Smirnoff, call it vodka, right? So the only brand name in the world for a drink that no one can copy is Bacardi.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it's called Bacardi.
Yeah.
Right. So, and he says, I told him back then, this must have been in the 50s.
Yeah.
He says, rather than calling it Smirnoff, now you've got 55 vodkas.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day with Hoover.
Hoover.
Yeah.
Everyone's called a Hoover,
Hoover,
although they're
yeah.
all made by Hoover.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that
Yeah.
you're saying that, that the iconic names that we've got here for brands and try to build new names. This is great how you've came across your logo, what you want to do. You've tried to get that blend of India and Scotland. So I think I was actually disappointed when they see a wee Celtic strip on it there after being given a or a Rangers strip.
might do a limited edition for you.
Don't listen to him.
Right.
You want to sell to everybody. So just in the small time I've got left, into this camera, plug your business, and really important for the viewers and listeners,
Yeah.
what's your nugget of advice? Because your story is amazing, but what's your piece of advice to anybody else out there who's maybe been turned down 8 times, hopefully not by age, but what would you say?
Don't be scared of pivoting in life. Pivoting is important. If something is not working, always think of, without losing what you're doing, how you can pivot. Scalability is important for entrepreneurs and to be entrepreneurs. Bet on yourself, which is very, very important. If somebody is ready to give you a job, they are betting on you. So you should be able to bet on yourself. So I say this to everyone, take that risk. And there is no shame in taking risk. Failure is part of life, and it's very, very important. If we don't fail, we don't succeed. Something has to go down before it could go up. So rejection, embrace it. It's a blessing in disguise. the more you get rejected, the more you learn.
Yeah.
And till date, after doing so much, and the more we are going to do, we get rejected by the biggest players in the market.
Yeah.
So which is an honor, and I wear it with pride that I've been rejected by people, who have done such great work. And yeah, Rutland Square is a testament of love, family, and it's a product created in Scotland by local people to celebrate the multiculturalism this country has, that has embraced me. I've lived 4 years of my life in Glasgow. I've lived 18 years of my life in Edinburgh. Give or take, I've spent almost 21 years of my life in this country. It has never made me feel that I don't belong here. So this product is a bridge that tells us we are all living on this planet, which we are sharing resource. Let's come together, have fun, let's create exciting products, and let's be proud of what we are doing.
So where can the people find it?
You can find it on rutlandsquare.com. You can find it on every single outlet on Edinburgh and Glasgow, from Leith to Barrowland. You can find us in restaurants, hotels, bars. A lot of Indian restaurants are stock us more. And hopefully you'll get us soon on the planes.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you,
for
guys.
coming on the show.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
story.
you, sir.
Nish,
Thank you.
loved the story.
No, thank you.
And good luck.
No, thank you,
Good
sir.
luck.
That's my honor.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
in your ninth attempt.
Thank you.
Tom, great guest this week on The Board You Can't Afford. Ewan Cameron, who is the CEO and founder of Cohesion Medical. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. Thank
Nice
you
to
for the
see you.
invitation.
Nice to see you, Ewan. So tell us a wee bit about the business, first of all, before we get to the question.
Yeah. So as you say, I'm the CEO founder at Cohesion Medical. We're a digital health company based in Govan in Glasgow, not too far from here, just
Right.
next to the BBC.
Yeah.
We've been operating for the last 14 years, developing quite groundbreaking AI data technology around how we connect citizens with their health data, how that health data is then shared and connected with services and providers that actually support people's health to ensure that they maintain their health and wellness as much as possible. So we've developed this, as I say, quite innovative technology that involves data wallets. So it's a bit like the idea of you take a physical wallet and you put data in and you can take data out. So as you go through life.
So it travels with you.
Yes, it is. It takes you on your life journey.
Yeah.
So as your needs change, as we all grow older, and we have more conditions and we need more services that support
Love
us.
that, yeah.
It allows you to put things in, take things out, look after your dependents, whether they be your children or your parents or your partner, depending on what where you are in your life stage. And then with the ability to connect that data across services that support you, the same way you do with banking, so with your money, and it is your money, you can own your money, you can decide to put the money in bank A, B or C, depending whether it's a savings account, a current account, your mortgage, pension, etc. So why can't you do that in the same way with your health data? So we all need access to that health data. It helps us keep healthy and well, and as we know in Scotland, there's great challenges around the health gaps. So having that visibility and transparency of your own health data and allowing that to be shared with services that support you, we think that's a way to reduce that gap, make those services more efficient and streamlined in terms of how data gets shared, and at the same time create opportunities for life sciences in Scotland to have a better understanding of diseases and biology and develop new drugs.
Has it been an advantage for you with the kind of modern trend now where people are, smartwatches, they've got fitness phones? Has that helped you in a big way? People are more aware of their well-being and their fitness.
Yes, perhaps that awareness could be better, but we now have technology that can actually capture data that wasn't being captured before. So my question is, should I stay or should I go? To quote Joe Strummer of The Clash.
Clash.
And that probably reflects my musical tastes as much as my business challenge.
Great band.
Yep. So the challenges you've just described, you're right about, the procurement, everyone feels safer buying IBM.
Yes.
But that holds back innovation. That holds back the ability to have more affordable, faster innovation in your hands that can make practical difference. So my challenge has been, and I was an early winner of the Scottish Edge Award.
Oh, you were? So we didn't turn you down?
No, you didn't.
Thank goodness after this.
182 is not bad.
But it was quite sad that having won that award, and that was probably about 2014, so almost 10 years ago, being told on the night that I should leave Scotland.
So who told you that?
That's something I probably couldn't say, or you'd have to edit out. But that
Tell me afterwards.
That reflected the challenges of doing things in Scotland, and perhaps also a pragmatic recognition that, you know, if you have innovation and technology, and I think it's quite ironic that Scotland being a history of engineers, that we're actually not recognised.
I'm sitting between two engineers here. I feel just so inadequate.
Yeah, and that there is a bit of STEM disconnect. I feel that that we can do STEM stuff well in Scotland. We could do that. We've got the right talent and the creativity, and we've got the innovators and the engineers. But actually, we don't have the market for that, and that
So
was
your
probably my
question
advice.
is:
do I go to the market? And if the market's not Scotland, or is there a way to flip Scotland to be a home market?
Right.
Well, I can. This is the first time I can answer for both of you. Right? We would definitely say to anybody, we would like you to stay.
Yes,
right.
so do I.
But we also appreciate that if you have researched, you've looked everywhere to try and get funding, you've looked everywhere to try and get opportunities of sales, and you're getting nowhere, and you've got this burning ambition that you know you're right, then 100% I would say go. But I'd like that to be when you've exhausted everything about state, which we have done, right? So when we have built businesses up and sold them, the easiest thing today would be going lie in the sun, right? But we're here trying to invest in other businesses and entrepreneurs. So for me, to answer your question quite simply, is like, test the water, see what's what, make sure that when you have ticked everywhere, I've been everywhere, I've been to Scottish Enterprise, I've been to the Edge, I've been to Scale Up, I've been everywhere, I've been to the banks, I'm getting nowhere here. And it's, to be fair but to you, especially when you're trying to sell and you're getting nowhere. I kind of gave a revelation on this programme a few weeks ago where we send out 1.6 billion a year in invoices, and I don't send one invoice to Scotland.
Yeah.
Right. But so it's not
based in Scotland.
Based in Scotland. My headquarters is in Scotland.
Just down the road.
Right. My biggest business now is in Australia. Right. My other business is in America. But so I'm still here. But what I found a way of opening doors in other places, but still remaining here.
Well, that's great, and that's a pathway I'd like to follow, because I would like to stay a Scottish business.
Yeah.
I would like to grow jobs. You know, I like my communities. You know, I live in Maryhill, work in Govan. I see the challenges, but I also understand the opportunities of changing people's life just through employment. That's something that gives me a buzz. So I'd like to be here. My challenge is just about that. Should I stay or should I go? You know, if the investor says, and I have had this, you know, offering me $10 million, uproot everything, move me, my headquarters, my IP to the US. I turned that down. I've had offers of, we could put several million into your business, but we want you to be London-based and London headquarters. So there is something also about the investment community, because I am a technology innovator. You know, it is hard to generate revenues in your early years, but you do need that investment, but there are conditions that come with that investment.
So let me talk to you about those conditions. I would reply to the investors or whatever it may be, say it's fine. I will come to London, or I'll come to Silicon Valley, right? But the key question is, does this through you guarantee me sales? It's the only reason why I'm coming there. If it does that and it's a guaranteed growth of the business, then that's what happened with me. When I had the opportunity to open in Australia, it's because I was guaranteed a huge contract, which 15 years later, it's turned out to be a phenomenal contract. When I opened in America, it was based on what they were bringing to the party. I'll be honest, I'd never have opened there. I'd never have opened there on a speculative basis. But
you've done it from a Scottish base.
100%. Never thought about going anywhere else.
there must be a way. We have this thing, and we invest in businesses, and by the time it gets to me, I've got one question for the founder: are people buying what you're selling?
Yeah.
Simple.
Yep.
Oh, but no. Are people buying what you're selling? And NHS Scotland doesn't seem to be buying what you're selling. So you need to find somewhere else.
Yeah. So
But you could still be based in Scotland.
yes, yeah. And the hope I see in my tunnel, I've just raised another $250,000 this week.
Right.
Which
Good.
got closed
Well
last night. Yes. That is from customers.
Customers, right?
Yeah.
That is customers
So
who are,
somebody's buying what you're selling.
That's
someone's
the
buying,
best type of investment.
So customers are buying and investing.
Yeah.
What maybe understanding the challenge is, to realise there's other customers that are not just NHS based.
Yeah.
Although I would like to think the NHS should buy what we're offering, because I think we offer something that's much more affordable than alternatives that they're currently pursuing. But yes, there are customers, and those customers are on a bit like yourself, maybe not the same stature, but entrepreneurial, successful people who realise that they are generating benefit from using our technology in their business.
That's what the Americans call smart investors. It's smart money. Right, and you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Ewan, we've run out of time. I'm afraid, but keep in touch with us.
Sure.
Let us know how you go, because I love the idea of one place for all your health data. Preventative maintenance. I'm going to steal that from Willie. I love that. We do it in fridges. We don't do it in humans. Come on. Ewan, brilliant story.
Yes. Thank you very much for your advice.
Thank you for
I
coming
really
on.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom, not a great show, and can't wait to see you again next week. I hope all the viewers and listeners have enjoyed it, and we look forward to chatting again next Sunday.
Yep. And amongst all the doom and gloom, Willie, and we're all shaking about the budget coming, we had two brilliant guests this week who showed work ethic, resilience. Please don't leave Scotland. And so until next week, take care of yourselves.